The presentation is about the role of the Grants and Contracts Office at the college. And at the end of this presentation, I hope the take-home message will be about the roles of the Grants Office. You will know where it's located and what we are able to help you with. I'll start with a brief background of the office. The office was opened in May 2011, so we have been in existence for about 4 years. And it was created to respond to researchers' plight. At that time, researchers were having problems with reporting, compliance, and management of their awards. And so this was created to bridge that gap. There was also a need for a centralized grant acquisition and administration at the college. Now, centralizing grant acquisition and administration is important because it means that the college is able to tell how much money is coming in from grants, and some funders require such information. And moving forward, more funders want to work with more centralized systems. The Grant Office was created with a mission to increase the college uptake and management of donor funds, and it's in line with the overall college mission. So it increases the uptake of donor funds for innovative research, teaching, and provision of services responsive to societal needs. The activities of the Grants Office can be categorized into 3. We have resource mobilization, there's capacity building, but also grants and contracts management. And these fall within the pre- and post-award. Capacity building is one which is cross-cutting. Talking about resource mobilization, every week the Grants Office looks for opportunities, reviews them, and then sends them out to researchers. We send these out on the college mailing list. We also post them to our grants website, but we also use personal emails for researchers, especially those whose research interests we know. We'll be able to send it directly to your email. And we target numerous funders, and I've listed some there: the National Institutes of Health, Grant Challenges Canada, EDCTP, MRC, NORAD, CIDA, Wellcome Trust, just to mention a few. Previously, it's been about NIH. NIH is the main funder of research, but for upcoming researchers, NIH grants may be a bit difficult to win, so we try and look out for other opportunities that can be easy to get. The next activity we support is proposal development with researchers. Usually, if somebody expresses interest in a call, we are able to read it and develop a checklist and help you to set timelines. Setting timelines is very important because sometimes people work so hard and miss the submission. So it's important to know how long you need to write a proposal and when you can submit it. Many times people come to submit on the deadline day, but that has its own issues because when you submit, you get error messages, which you need to address in order for the proposal to finally go. So if you come at midnight, the errors may be too many and maybe need more information to sort out. So you miss the deadline and yet you're very, very tired from working on this proposal. We also develop budgets and justification for these proposals. And here, we work with you during your proposal development. It's important for us to be involved right from the beginning so that we understand how the research is going to work, what you're going to need, so that we're able to do a budget that reflects the proposal. If we do a budget in isolation, it may not reflect your work very well, and so there might be a mismatch. So we appreciate being involved right from the beginning. We also provide some required institutional documents. Some funders require audit reports, some want organizational charts, so we are able to provide these when requested. We also help you compile all the required documents, and then we are able to provide reminders of deadlines. We also help with submitting the application forms and submission of applications. The Grants Office is a custodian of passwords for the submission platforms, so we are able to submit for you if we are approached. Some submissions are by email, so those may not go through the Grants Office. After submitting, we also help with addressing post-submission issues. Usually, like I mentioned earlier, there are errors, and we work with the PIs to rectify these. We also provide just-in-time information when the funders request it. The Grants Office maintains a proposal register, and this helps us to track what has gone through the office, but also helps the college to know how many people are participating in research and address any issues. We also provide advice on any pre-award issues. The office is open, and we're able to provide advice on any questions you might have. We also share notices of changes announced by funders. Recently, maybe late last year, NIH changed the BioSketch format, and we were able to send this out. So if you're here and your BioSketch is still in the old format, please come to us. We shall be able to share with you the new format. Our next activity is under capacity building. And in capacity building, we target the researchers and also research administrators. And we basically, from our interactions with the research administrators and researchers, we identify relevant topics, and we're able to develop some training materials. We advertise these sessions and make presentations. We also look for capacity. We look for suitable facilitators for topics which we may not be conversant with. And our capacity building is still divided into pre-award and post-award. And our pre-award topics are aimed at building capacity for identification of funding opportunities and development of winning proposals. We want everyone to be a winner. You must win a proposal. You know, when you keep writing and you never win, you run out of gas. So we try to put up relevant topics. We show you how to find funding opportunities, show you how to interpret them, and also write the different sections of your proposals. And our post-award topics are mainly aimed at helping you to manage your grant award effectively. You have to keep your funders happy in order for you to be continually funded. So we help you to understand your notice of award. It's like your Bible for running your project. We help you with contract negotiations, basic startups, and those are under those topics that we have designed. And we've currently put them on hold because we were not getting the target group we wanted, but we want to revamp this in future, and we are thinking of using this lunch hour to tap more into the targeted audience. We also provide project-specific grants management support. If you're currently running a project and you have a challenge, you can always come to the Grants Office, and we're able to sort it out. We've also participated in a grants management course for master's students, and we started some time back, and we hope to continually be involved in this. Moving on to grants and contracts management. The Grants Office serves as a liaison between the researchers and the funding agencies. We receive notices of award on your behalf when they are sent to the college, and we're able to point out some things for you that you need to address. but also help you to respond to the funders where needed. We can also support you to prepare your budget modifications where required. And we also provide orientation for researchers and grant administrators. When you get an award and you've never worked within the Makerere University system, it can be challenging. So these orientation sessions bring together people who you're going to work with to implement your project. We usually call procurement, there's accounts, and maybe in the future we're bringing on internal audit, for you to understand the system so that when you want to make a request, you know the lead time, and when you want to buy anything, you know where to go to. We also download funds where applicable. If you have an NIH grant, NIH uses a web-based method of funds disbursement, and the grants office holds the password to that. The grants office also maintains registers for our awarded grants, and this helps the college to know, again, how much money has come in. It also helps us to know how well we are doing. We also maintain registers for contracts and agreements for all the projects that we've supported, and we're able to provide these when required. We support review and drafting of agreements. Sometimes some projects require you to sign agreements, so we work with the legal office to make sure that you're not in any danger when you sign. We also support negotiation of contract terms, as well as financial monitoring and reporting. I mentioned supporting budget modifications before. We also support grant closeout processes. When your grant comes to an end, we help you to close it out. Now, the grants office does not work in isolation. We work with a number of people and offices. If the researchers are not there, we won't be able to do much, so we really depend on researchers to take interest in writing, to also come up to support us in our capacity building sessions, and to also help us to identify the areas of interest for which we should be looking for funding calls. We work with research administrators for ongoing projects, but also for the new ones. They're the ones who request money, and we also hear from them about the areas they want support in. We work with the finance office. They provide the data we need for reporting, but also in monitoring and compliance of awards. We also work with the procurement office. As I mentioned, they come in to provide orientation for the new grants, and also working with them on the running grants. The internal audit office is another office we work with, and our upcoming lunchtime seminar is actually going to be facilitated by them. They'll be telling you about the internal controls and the do's and don'ts while you're working within the Makerere system. Then we also have the legal office. I mentioned earlier that they review our contracts for us. We work with the IT staff. They help a lot with our websites and also maintenance of our server. We also work with the principal's office. Many of the things are signed off by the principal, so we work with his office closely. Now, coming soon, we're going to have a grants management committee, and this committee will have representation from all schools, and it's going to help us to further streamline our grants acquisition and management. And one of the things we've struggled with, I think, sometimes is the quality of our proposals, and this is going to come in to undertake quality assurance, to look at the concepts that people want to develop into proposals, and also oversee the implementation of grant management policies and standard procedures. And lastly, our second lunchtime seminar like I mentioned earlier, will be facilitated by the Internal Audit Office, and it will be next Thursday at the same time. Thank you very much.